they're really grandiose. They think that they've got all the answers,
Ooh.
and nobody's listening to them.
Ooh.
And it makes them mad, and they end up in prison or in psychiatric hospitals.
I'm always fascinated with how other human beings' brains work. Mine as well, right? I'm fascinated by the brain, about how it's so different after exercise. It's so different after rest. It's so different when, you know, you meditate or you do something like yoga, some mindfulness kind of practice. It's like, what are most people experiencing? And then what does it feel like to be mentally ill? Like, what is that person experiencing? Like, what weird shift in the chemical balance of the mind is causing that? And, you know, how much of it is genetic and how much of it is life experience and trauma? It's just the way people think and look about things and look at things has always been fascinating to me, because I gotta assume that everyone's dealing with different hardware or wetware or whatever you would call the brain. Like, they work different. They don't work the same.
Right. Well, I mean, it depends on the mental illness, you know, the disorder. Yeah, well, you know, one of the reasons I became a psychiatrist, you know, besides my interest in studying psychedelics, was because I was really interested in the mind. You know, schizophrenic patients were just amazing.
Yeah.
You know, because other than their crazy ideas and experiences, they're just normal people.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is wild. And there's got to be levels to it, right? Are there? Like there's like mild, where someone just kind of like a touch schizophrenic, and there's someone who's like full blown, you know, the aliens are hiding in my walls and they're out to get me.
Well, it depends on the kind of schizophrenia. There's what's called chronic undifferentiated, which is kind of the burned out types that just don't move, don't talk.
They just veg.
They just veg. And they're the paranoid schizophrenics who are a lot more active, and they're hallucinating, and they're in your face. Yeah, you know, I really found it easy and fun to talk to psychotic patients. I think that was, you know, one of the things that kind of was part of the mix of studying psychedelics.
Why was it easy?
Well, I think in my own psychedelic experiences, I might have gone crazy for an hour or two. Mm-hmm. One time in particular, I had to be, you know, talked back down, you know, so I could empathize.
You've heard Dennis McKenna's story about being with Terrence.
Mm-hmm, the experiment at La Chorrera.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Can you explain what happened? Because they ate too many mushrooms.
Apparently.
Yeah. Can you explain, like, pharmacologically what, or psychologically, what could have happened?
Well, I mean, it depends on your model, right?
Please tell people what happened. Like, tell people the story.
Yeah, I don't know the story.
You don't know it exactly
that well.
What I believe is they found a bunch of fresh mushrooms in the Amazon, and they just started chowing, and they went crazy. And I think he was gone for about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Might have been longer than that. Might be 2 months. Do you remember, Jamie?
I don't know. I'll check to see what if.
Because he was on. He told the story on the podcast.
Yeah,
he went into detail about like what it was like, the way he was processing reality.
It was a long stretch.
It was a long time where he was gone.
Yeah,
it wasn't like 2 hours.
No, they had to. Well, you know, to the extent that he could communicate, he wanted people to leave him alone.
What happens? What is going on when that happens? Like, what could cause you? Is there something that could be psychoactive for 2 whole weeks? That's what's confusing to me. Like, what is going on where this substance, it must be gone from your body after 2 weeks, but somehow or another, you're still feeling the effects of it. Like, what happened? And what does that indicate about, like, states of mind and how pliable they are?
Well, I mean, I guess the way I would look at it, which might not be the way everybody would, but I think what may have taken place is that because of all of the psilocybin that he took, he opened a portal into things out there, and it just didn't close. You know, so the psilocybin was the trigger, you know, but after the portal was open, it was open.
I'm glad you said it that way. Because I say it that way too, and I know it sounds ridiculous. It's particularly to people that don't do psychedelics, opening a portal. I've thought about that a lot. I thought about that a lot about the DMT experience, because it seems so insane and so impossible that I just can't believe that this isn't just another place.